Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. Great. Now what am I supposed to use my phone for? Don't look into the Death Star or you'll die. So the Nintendo Cartridge Society looks into the Death Star with you. Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellers, and I'm joined as I'm always joined by my co-host, Mark Mitchell. We've got a good show for today. We're going to be talking about the news from the week, including the end of Mario Kart Tour and rumors of a new Switch 2 model. Mark, it's already that season.
Wow.
But then on Thursday, it is the conclusion of our Mario Kart World costume ranking. Very exciting episode. But Mark, in the meantime, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great. I like this quote from Castlevania 2 that we opened the show with.
Yes.
It makes me think of the Indiana Jones ride at Disneyland, where they warn you not to look in the eyes of Mara.
Yes. Oh, that's it.
That's it. Makes me think of that.
It's interesting that you would say that it makes you think of and then name a Lucasfilm property that is not Star Wars because Death Star
fair.
is right in there. I didn't realize that the language Death Star was in Castlevania 2.
Yeah, I didn't either. I wonder what it's referring to.
Probably some kind of Death Star.
Probably. I mean, we played that game.
Yeah, that's true.
And I don't remember a Death Star.
I don't remember much of the dialogue that the villagers speak at you.
No. But I mean...
But you would think a Death Star would jump out to us, right? Is that...
I mean, if it was an item in the game...
Right.
If it was like a giant space station in the sky,
I
seems
assume
like
that
we'd
it actually
remember that.
is just like a demonic star of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this: so the eye of Mara.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah,
Back to the Indiana Jones ride. The Indiana Jones ride is technically called Indiana Jones and the Forbidden Eye, right?
I think technically it's called Indiana the. Oh wait, no. I'm gonna get this right.
Search for the Hidden Eye.
No, I think it's Indiana Jones
Forbidden
Adventure.
Eye. Okay.
Legends. No, that can't be right. All right, I'm gonna look.
You
got to
look it up. Right. Here's my guess.
What's
is
the
just
official nomenclature?
Indiana Jones and the Forbidden Eye.
I think it's Forbidden Temple, but that can't be right. That's the Nickelodeon show.
Well, that's the Hidden Temple
Adventure. I think it's a Forbidden Temple. I'm looking it up. It's Indiana Jones Adventure.
Okay.
Now, see, this isn't right. On the website.
Which website?
On Disneyland.com.
Okay.
No, sorry. Disneyland.disney.go.com.
Okay, thank you.
It is Indiana Jones Adventure. So I think that's the official name.
Okay.
But then Indiana Jones Adventure, Temple of the Forbidden Eye.
Temple of the Forbidden Eye.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were right with the Temple of the and the Adventure part, and then I had the Forbidden Eye part.
Yeah, that's right. And together we made it. That's why we host the show together.
There's too much language in there, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a little Star Wars Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run.
I mean, it's a real problem that they have, right?
It is, yeah.
Like, what is the Little Mermaid right called? It's like Ariel's Undersea Adventure.
Yeah, it's something like that.
The Little Mermaid.
Why wouldn't you just call it the Little Mermaid?
I don't know. But that Monsters Inc. ride is like Mike and Sully to the rescue.
Right. Which is like what Monsters Inc. is about.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. No, sorry. I was looking up the Death Star in Castlevania 2.
Oh, yeah. Great. I imagine this is SEO nightmare here.
It's not great.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm on VGFacts.com. So take this for what it's worth. It appears to be one of those sites where like anybody can submit one and then people can like upvote it if they want.
Yes.
This says the line "Don't look into the Death Star or you will die" is a reference to the manga Hokuto no Ken. In the manga, if two warriors engaged in a fight see the Star of Death, one of them will die soon. This reference was lost in the English translation as Hokuto no Ken was not popular in America. So, couple questions. One, we don't know what the Star of Death is, so that only kind of helps us. But two, it appears that maybe it's just a joke, and there is no item or thing
Sure.
that is a Death Star.
Right. And it would honestly, if they said, "Do not look into the Star of Death, or you will die," then I would have no questions about this. It is literally just the Death Star that makes me go, "Huh?" Simon Belmont should be in a Star Wars movie. They should get him in there. Mark, if you want to hear us talk about movies, they can head on over to patreon.com/Nintendo Cartridge Society, where if they are supporting us at the 8-bit or 16-bit levels, they get access to our once-a-month episodes of miniseries like NCS at the Movies.
Yes, where Patrick and myself, and usually a special guest, are going to the movies together, and then we're going to talk about that movie. For July, that movie we're going to be talking about is The Odyssey.
The Odyssey.
That should be...
Not the Iliad, not the Aeneid.
That's right.
Get him out of here.
We don't want to... This is the only time we're going to mention those.
That's right.
Going forward, it's all The Odyssey.
It's all The Odyssey.
But it's not the only movie that we've talked about. We've talked about movies in the past. Plus, we have the other miniseries there, including NCS Arcade, where Patrick and I played games we had never beaten before. NCS Detective Club, NCS Goes Broadway. All of that is available on the Patreon. Some of it even at the free level. So go over and check it out.
Go check it out. See what you're interested in. See what you're interested in. You probably know what you're interested in, but see where that aligns with what we have to offer. Also, you should be in our Discord where people are chatting about Nintendo stuff basically all the time. Email us, Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com. We send you an invitation. I like that was like a higher pitched version of that from you.
La.
It felt more like harmony. La 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 la. Get in there and stop us from singing. All right, Mark, let's talk about what we've been playing this week. Okay, so I continue my adventures through the world of Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, and I still am having a nice time. I am in Chapter 7 right now. I've put about 15 hours into the game. I have just... Okay, do you know these characters, the Nopon, N-O-P-O-N?
Are they the, like, Moogle type things?
They're the Xenoblade Moogle things. I've just been to their village... and I've just recruited a Nopon hero who is now like on my team. And I gotta say, I don't like these guys.
Oh no!
No, I find them really annoying.
Oh,
like it's doing like a like kind of quirky. They have like an odd speaking pattern where they repeat themselves a little bit, and they've got these little voices. And some of the actors are more committed to the voice than others, and so some you're like, oof, like it just can get quite rough. Anyway, I'm happy that I'm going to be leaving the village and that I have more than 3 party members, so I don't necessarily need to use this little Nopon hero guy if I don't want to. And right now I do not want to. But I continue to have like a decent amount of fun with this game. Last week, I think I probably have played maybe like 4 or 5 hours of the game this last week, which still feels like kind of locked in for me, frankly. And I'm traveling this week coming up, and so I'm looking forward to spending more time in the game as well. But yeah, I guess I don't have anything like new to report there.
What keeps you coming back at this point? Is it
so
that you want to just see it through, or are you actually like?
No, I'm having fun.
Combat? Yeah.
No, I definitely enjoy the combat. I am enjoying the just like normal progression of your way through an RPG story. The story, which I had said previously, was like pretty simple. It is getting more complex as we go. I still think a lot of the characters are like expressed pretty stupidly, but like the story is compelling, and the world, as you see more of it, only becomes more interesting. So even if all this ends up being is like a guided tour through this really impressive world, then that's more than enough for me to be having like a lot of fun with it.
Is it strange that I feel a sense of like happiness that you're playing, that you're gonna like maybe make your way through this entire thing?
Well, because then, I mean, first of all, it takes a lot of pressure off of you. Then you don't have to do it.
I mean, that's true. Yeah.
But no, I don't. Is it strange that you are happy to see your friend enjoying something? I don't know. I think it's normal.
Well, but I feel like climbing the Xenoblade Chronicles mountain, like doubly makes that enjoyable to me. I'm tearing up a little bit, is what I'm saying. Call me before you roll credits.
Yeah, we'll do. It's really just because like this is a summit that I've attempted multiple times.
Exactly. Yeah.
And this like is the one time where it seems like it's actually taking. And like could Splatoon Raiders like bump me off the mountain?
Sure.
Like I think that is possible. But like I'm also not that big of a Splatoon guy, right? I think probably you'll get more sucked into Splatoon Raiders than I will. So I mean, until something like Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave comes out, I feel like there's not really something else vying for that like gear in my brain.
Sure. Yeah.
I also just want to say that Mark, you and I talked about it a little bit yesterday, but I went ahead and purchased a 1 terabyte micro SD Express card for my Switch 2, and I installed it.
How'd that go?
Really easy.
Okay, great.
So we were both like, can I just like swap these things out, or do I need to like do something here? And since the Switch 2 doesn't store any save data on the actual card itself, saves all the save data either to the cloud or to the system, like I had to re-download a bunch of stuff, but that was pretty painless and just...
So you didn't have to do the thing where you like go to your computer, copy the contents of the old one, and then drag that onto the new one?
I mean, I know that there are some like guides that would advise doing that, but I didn't do it at all, and it didn't matter.
Yeah, great. I think maybe if you had like screenshots or something that would have been saved onto that
it's
you
a good point. I did not check to see if screenshots moved with me.
Yeah,
but also
I don't know that it matters.
I don't really care about that. So now I never need to worry about running out of, for the time being, I don't have to worry about running out of space.
Right,
on the Switch 2.
Yeah, I thought about pulling the trigger on one of those and then have always just been gun shy about it. But it's nice to know that it's frictionless.
They were on sale on Walmart for like $150 or something like that. So I got one. I have it now. I'm going to stop thinking about saving room on my Switch 2.
All right, so I've played the Tetris 99 Maximus Cup, the Star Fox themed one.
Me too.
Nice. Star Fox music works well with it.
Yes, it starts off very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Like as it was loading up a new match, it wasn't like playing music, which I was like, that's odd, strange. But yeah, Star Fox music, very fun to hear.
I've also been putting a little bit more time into Rhythm Heaven Groove. So I have completed like 6 of those columns that I was talking about last time.
Yes.
Which I think is I know it's not the maximum number of columns. Last week, I said that I had gotten some perfects.
Yes.
And that was tooting my own horn a little too hard because I have gotten some awesomes.
Oh.
And then as you continue to play, you can go back to old ones and attempt to get perfect.
I see.
And when you do that, it unlocks additional games for you to play. So you like roll credits before you reach the end of like that 6th one. So I know that there is more game for me to do, and I still haven't done like the Magic RPG mode or anything. So there's still more in there for me to explore, but still enjoying, jumping into Rhythm Heaven Groove, playing a few games, and then bouncing out.
Are you finding it to be like basically, and like I don't really even know what I'm asking here, but like that is really just the experience of it is like you go in, you mess around with it for a little bit, but there's not like a deeper thing to engage with there.
For me, I am finding that to be true.
Yeah.
But again, I haven't touched the RPG mode, that like RPG thing at all. And I know that there are games and that there is like additional content that I haven't unlocked yet. And I think there might be a fairly significant amount of that.
Yeah.
If I continue to like put in the work on it. And then I returned to Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I'm still having a really good
Temple of the Great Circle.
The temple, is there an eye is in there maybe somewhere, a Death Star possibly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still having a really good time with it. So this is not a complaint, more like an observation, which is when I first started, and I feel like this is true for a lot of video games and open world games especially, even though I I wouldn't call Indiana Jones is not open world. But it has these discrete sections that within those sections there's like
Yes.
an area for you to explore.
I believe they refer to those now as open zone games.
Okay, so so this is more of an open zone game.
A term I sort of resent because I feel like zones, that's a Sonic the Hedgehog term.
Oh,
right?
sure, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, yes. And anything related to Sonic.
I'm deeply protective of.
Okay, so open zone.
What kind of zone are you in right now?
I'm in Giza, so it's like
Okay.
pyramids, that sort of. It's the second like zone in the game after the Vatican, but I feel like after when I first like was in the Vatican section of the game, which is really the first open zone for you to run around and explore, and there's like side missions and stuff and all of that. You're like figuring out the mechanics.
Yeah.
And you're figuring out the world, and you're like, wow, this is really impressive. This is like really cool. But then you go to a second section, and it's like, I understand. These are the boundaries of the game. This is
Right.
the game I'm going to be playing, where it's like, I go to a zone, and a zone has a handful of things that I can expect to happen in this zone.
Right.
And so it doesn't, like, take the fun away from it, but it definitely kind of, like, it puts the scope more in focus of like,
Sure,
this is the
yeah.
type of game I'm playing, and there are going to be these limitations and this limitation and this limitation onto like
Right.
the things I can do and the things that I'm going to like experience throughout this game, and that's fine because the stuff that is there is fun. But it was just one of those moments for me where it was like, oh, got it. Every area is going to have this. Every area is going to have
Right.
one of these.
Right.
Every area is going to do this. And really, I talked last week about, or 2 weeks ago, whenever the last time I talked about it, saying that I got fooled in the Vatican by doing some side missions and then just being like, oh, okay, like that was it. I don't know that I need to do the side missions anymore. So in Giza, I was like, no, I'm going to do one of these side missions. Let's just see. And it did turn out to similarly be like, oh, okay, like I don't know if that was particularly rewarding.
Gotcha.
It's rewarding game-wise in that by completing side missions and stuff like that, you get what are essentially experience points that you can then spend to upgrade your Indiana Jones. Like, you find books or you can, like, buy books,
Mhm.
but then they require and that upgrade certain skills. So it might be, like, a book about, like, pugilism, and it'll help you with fighting.
Sure.
Or, like, that sort of thing.
a book about snakes so he's not so scared.
Exactly.
Or maybe more
Or
scared.
more scared, depending on what's in the book.
Yeah. I want to up his snake fear.
But then you have to like spend points to actually earn
Right.
the thing in that book, and you earn those things by like taking photos or doing side missions. So there you are rewarded for doing it in the game, but the side missions themselves I don't find very fun or very
yes.
interesting.
That tracks for me.
It really
That-
seems like the focus was on the main story. So even though I was fooled in Giza, I don't think whatever the next section, which I'm close to getting to, I'm going to be fooled
I
again.
think you're going to be fooled again. It seems inevitable. That is a little bit the way the like little side quests are structured in Xenoblade as well. Like when you walk into a new big area, and of course by big I mean just absolutely mammoth, right? That you talk to a bunch of people and they all have like, oh, this monster's been beating up my friends. Why don't you go kill 5 of them? And you're like, great. Or like, I'm trying to bake a cake, so I need like 6 eggs and a bar of chocolate. And so it's just like items you need to collect around the world map. And Xenoblade is so funny in that like if you kill the number of enemies that this person wanted you to kill, you just immediately get the like reward for the quest being over. You almost never need to go back to the
nice.
quest
I
giver.
love when games do that.
It's nice, but it's also kind of like it makes it feel like nothing.
Yeah, that
Right?
sure.
Like I'm just seeing little exclamation points on my map and being like, well, I may as well run towards
And
that.
it
'cause I
definitely
know
like breaks the fiction of the world.
totally.
I do like in Final Fantasy VII Remake, they do that by being like, hey, do you want to warp to this person now that you finished this?
Yes, that's very nice.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Remake, and interesting that you bring it up here because I kind of wanted to tag onto what you're saying about like each zone feeling like, okay, now we've just like reset and I got to like do all the things I did in the previous zone here, as it relates to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, because there are many very large open zones in that game, that all like are around a like a town area, but are generally just like an open wilderness. And while they have sort of like recurring things that you'll see in each one, like everyone has like a Moogle house thing going on in it, each one has its own like separate mini game thing that sort of like compounds on itself. And like halfway through the game, you start having to like revisit areas to like close the loop on a lot of things. So it does a really remarkable job of a kind of marrying all these areas together into feeling like one big area, but also be making the what you're doing in each area feel different than what you've done in the previous ones. And that was my memory of playing it, and that's one of the things that excited me about like getting into a new area. When someday you get to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth,
It's on my list.
I know it is, and it's on your Switch as far as I can tell, or at least you have purchased it.
That's right. Yeah.
That I'll just want to talk about that more, because that is an interesting video game problem, right? That like you get to a new area and you're like, okay, now do basically all the same things you did again, but in like a new space.
And it makes sense. I mean, that is a gameplay loop, right? And
Yeah,
you have to
absolutely, yeah.
create one of those in order to make like games economical at all, to like each. But it
Right.
it's just interesting when you run into those things in games when you're like, oh, okay, now I really understand what the shape of this is going to be, what the patterns that like I can expect and all that kind of stuff.
Before we get out of what we've been playing, I just wanted to mention that I've been watching the new season of House of the Dragon, the new Game of Thrones, or the Game of Thrones show that's on right now. Or I guess one of the two of them that's on. And this is a spoiler-free space, but I just do want to mention that Benjamin Evan Ainsley, who is playing Link in the upcoming Legend of Zelda movie, just like made his proper debut on the show as a character of consequence.
Oh.
I'm not saying who the character is because they do some trickery around this character in the first couple episodes of season 3. But in this first like full episode where he's like actually featured, great, like really good, really compelling. Seems like he has like a core of like goodness and curiosity, but like is tough. And I'm like, oh man, this is our Link. This is gonna be our Link.
Don't
Mark.
give me hope, Patrick.
I'm sorry, but I have it, so I'm infecting you with it.
I've sat through too many Mario animated movies to have hope.
Well, and this won't be animated though. We liked Wes Ball's Planet of the Apes movie.
It's true, we did. No. That's great. That's really good news.
Yeah, and I just wanted to share it. Also, really enjoying the season of House of the Dragon.
Is this the final season?
No, next one. Next one will be the final. And it's especially refreshing after season 2 being like kind of a meandering mess that like walked right up to the doorstep of like a decisive battle and then is like, no, we're not doing it. This season started with that decisive battle, so good little turnaround there. All right, Mark, that's what we've been playing this week. Let's get into the new releases and what we might be playing next week.
All right, we of course will check in with Nintendo Music, as is our custom. So last Thursday, 44 tracks from F-Zero 99 were uploaded to the system. A good reminder that
when are we going to get to the other 55? Sorry, go on. A good reminder that F-Zero 99 exists.
Yeah.
That a good game, right?
I had fun with it for the few hours that I played with it when it first launched.
Does sort of like having it back in the like zeitgeist because of this, or at least our zeitgeist, makes me want to revisit it. I like that game, and I know they had been adding to it for a long time.
Right, it's probably super different than it was when we first played at launch. I don't even think I have it on my system. I don't think I re-downloaded it when.
I probably didn't
Switch
either.
2 came out.
But now I've got the room, so I'm gonna do it.
And then yesterday we got some more Mario Kart Free Roam playlists featuring tracks from Super Mario Maker, Mario Paint, and some of the new Super Mario Brothers games, the DS, Wii, and U entries. I guess just number 2 missing.
Interesting that there would be no new Super Mario Brothers 2. Although, I mean, who knows? I'm sure there are unique tracks for that. I do think it's so interesting how they keep referring to these as like pieces of music from those games when obviously it's a different arrangement.
Right, yeah.
For Mario Kart World. I gotta say, the free roam, I've probably mentioned this already, but the Mario Kart World free roam tracks make great, just like background working music. I've done it multiple times now while I'm just like crushing through stuff at work. And it's been great and energetic and fun and different. And yeah.
And then also last week we got an update to Nintendo Classics, 4 new games added. So on the Game Boy, we had Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3, The Sword of Hope 2, and Fortified Zone.
So that fills in a little bit of the Wario Land franchise on the Game Boy. Obviously, we have Wario Land 4 on the GBA, and Wario Land 3 had already been on the regular Game Boy. This now we get the Super Mario Land 3, Wario Land 1, right?
Right.
Means we're still missing Wario Land 2, but we're like one game away from, so we've got the Virtual Boy one sitting over there. So like, there are what, like 5 or 4 Wario Land games currently. If we want to toss Wario World on there, then it's even more.
Yeah.
But so yeah, and then also Sword of Hope is the Sword of Hope 2. Sword of Hope 1 is already on the Game Boy Nintendo Switch Classic. So yeah, I like that they're filling out some holes here.
And then they also released a game for the Game Boy Advance, which it requires the NSO expansion pack, Dr. Mario and Puzzle League.
Yeah. So just when they would do these like kind of combination games, and this is one of them.
Yeah, I've never played this version of
No, me
Dr.
neither.
Mario before. Also, Japan got the Japanese role-playing exclusive Tomato Adventure that was developed by the Mario and Luigi developer Alpha Dream, RIP.
Yeah. I mean, we're never going to get this thing like localized, right? But and it never has been or released anywhere except for in Japan. So and it would be impossible for them to just like release it for English speaking audiences to play in Japanese. But still, I got that little pang of like, oh, it would be fun to try that out.
I know. Yeah, I know they sometimes will do it for like puzzle games that don't really require a lot of explanation.
Or like those Starfy games.
I kind of wish they would just do it anyways.
Yeah.
Because who cares?
Right. Yeah, I mean, truly. Put it on there, and I can do like a Google Translate on every single line if I want to. Or they should do the Google Translate. I just wanted to shout out here, as long as we are talking about new games coming to NSO and NSO Plus Expansion Pack. Remember how when the Switch 2 launched, they were like, GameCube library, big deal, big part of what is going to add value to this thing. It has, as of the release of this episode, it has been 119 days since the last GameCube game was added to the service. That game was, of course, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. The longest gaps prior to this between Fire Emblem Path of Radiance and this Pokemon game was 69 days. And previously, between Chibi Robo and Luigi's Mansion at the end of October was 70 days. So we have blown past that record of 69 days or 70 days to a full month past that. And we still have Pokemon Coliseum and Super Mario Sunshine that were part of the original tease of GameCube games coming to the service.
And it's summertime. It'd be the perfect time for Super Mario Sunshine.
That's right.
Not that any time is a bad time for Super Mario Sunshine.
But just weird, right?
Yeah.
It seems like they're kind of dropping the ball on that a little bit.
I would be curious. And we'll never know, so it's a silly question to ask, and yet I will do it anyways.
Thank you.
I would just be curious what the usage of Nintendo Classics are.
Yeah.
Like what the metrics are behind Nintendo Classics.
Well, further I ask what the expectation is, right? Like it does seem like it's a vanishingly small sliver of the pie that like, okay, people who have the Switch, who have this Switch 2, who subscribe to Nintendo Switch Online, who subscribe to the expansion pack as well, who want to play old games in the form of GameCube games, and then specifically want to play when they put Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness on there, where it's like an RPG from that time that's in the Pokemon world, right? I think the same thing about like Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. You're just like you're shrinking the circles like over and over and over again.
Right.
And like until they do something like Luigi's Mansion or Mario Sunshine, where it's like, oh yeah, basically anyone who has the Switch and subscribes to Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack could be interested in checking that out. But everything else is like becomes more and more niche.
Yeah, totally. Also, since we're talking about Nintendo Switch Online,
Let's do it.
Nintendo Switch Online subscribers in Europe now get free standard delivery on any order from the Nintendo Store when they buy something over €1, and the same is true in the UK, over £1. That's a good perk.
That is a good perk.
I wish they would do that in the US.
Because in the US you got to spend like $50, right?
Yeah,
Something
something
like
99, something like that. Yeah.
I think it's $50, and I think there are a lot of. I frequently find myself in a place where I want to get something, but I have to spend like $5 more to get free shipping.
Right. Yeah.
And then I usually just give up, or buy something I don't need. But okay, yeah.
Make it happen, Nintendo of America.
Please.
That's a good perk. That'd be awesome.
It's a good perk.
Okay, now for real new releases this week. On Thursday, July 16th, Fitness Boxing 3, Your Personal Trainer, Nintendo Switch 2 edition is released.
Yep, we were talking about the Fitness Boxing series when we did our episode on rhythm games. And here's the Switch 2 version of this.
And then also on Thursday, the Switch 2 version of Moss the Forgotten Relic.
Yeah, so I think we mentioned this a couple weeks ago, that Moss the Forgotten Relic is the sort of combination representation of a pair of PlayStation VR games where you play as a little moss named Quill, or you sort of control her, but you also like play as like a forest spirit, or at least that's what you did in the VR version, where like you would see your own reflection in like a body of water, and you would see that you're like a Ghibli-esque sort of like phantom. Obviously, since it's all like retooled to not be in VR, it must work a little bit differently. But the first of these two games is the only one that I played. I really, really loved it. It's a fun little adventure game where you're playing as a cute mouse. It's got great narration, and she's like swinging a sword and like, you know, running around in like trees that appear giant to her because she's a little mouse. But yeah, super, super cool game. I'm excited that it's going to be on non-VR platforms. All right, those are the new releases. Let's close this out. Which brings us to a regular segment on our show. It's time for 433. In 1952, American composer John Cage wrote a piece called 433, wherein a performer or group of performers didn't play their instruments for 4 minutes and 33 seconds. For the purposes of this show, our instruments are talking about Nintendo, so for the duration of one performance of 433, Mark and I will talk about something not all Nintendo related that's fulfilling the contract of the piece.
All right. Patrick, it's summertime.
Yep.
When the weather is hot.
Yep.
And Otter Pops.
We talked briefly about Otter Pops, yes, when we
I
talked
think we have at some point, I'm sure. I don't think we did when we did ice cream trucks, if that's what you're referring to.
Yeah, because that's not really a treat that you would get from an ice cream truck.
But did you have Otter Pops growing up? Was that...
So the Otter Pop is just like a freezer pop, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Okay, yes. I don't know that we actually had the brand name Otter Pops. I'm sure I encountered them at one point or another. But like it is because it's really just like some sugar water, right? Some like fruit flavored sugar
water. Sure, it's a popsicle, yeah.
Yeah. What a great point. That's all a popsicle is. Yeah. So I feel like it is a common treat. Mom can just throw a bunch of them at you and you're happy.
Yeah, I really liked... I preferred Otter Pops growing up. Not because they tasted any different from the other ones, but just because they have these really cute, like, otter mascot characters, one for each flavor of Otter Pop.
See, now this is the part of the lore that I am unfamiliar with. That there are different otter characters.
Yes, so there's like...
Just want to weigh in? Otter Pro. Like them.
Oh, yeah, super cute.
Good. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, let me show you some of them. So there's like Sir Isaac Lime.
See. Okay.
Louis Blue Raspberry. Alexander the Grape. I think
Okay.
some of these are new. I don't think there was a cosmic coconut. I don't think there was a major mango, but I could be wrong. Poncho Punch, Anita Fruit Punch. So what I thought would be fun to do, they each have a little biography about them.
Okay, great. Yeah.
So,
Are you going to read the biography and I have to guess their name? What do you want to do?
I want you to pick
Okay.
a otter.
Okay.
And then I will, but I'm going to read Major Mango. But then you can pick another otter, and I'll read their biography.
Okay. Then after that, we're going to Strawberry Short Kook.
Okay, great. All right. So Major Mango. Major Mango heard the call of duty when she was still a pup and said, "Roger that." A strong female otter from the Chicago River. Major Mango has dedicated her life to helping otters in need. Respected for her tremendous bravery and her kind heart, she's a search and rescue specialist.
Okay.
A first responder who uses her precision parachuting skills to jump into the heart of danger and bring others to safety. Born on the 4th of July, her favorite movies are any action flicks starring Kook, and her favorite color is camouflage. She's a
Kook, the otter that the Strawberry Kook.
I think that may be true.
Okay,
yeah,
but that is she's an actress.
We will find out after
okay.
this. Yeah. She's a lover of tradition and a modern woman rolled into one. With her high-level access to cool gadgets and a fleet of awesome high-tech vehicles, Major Mango is a kid favorite, partly because she's a hero who teaches them cool secret codes, and partly because she's a popular esports champ with her own gaming channel where she dominates the competition. Major Mango is having it all.
Yeah.
I want to be Major Mango.
I gotta say, something rubs me the wrong way, the way that and this is not a complaint I should have to register, but the way that the Otter Pops biographies write about gender like bugs me a little bit.
Well,
are any of the, and I understand this is a false equivalence, are any of the male otters referred to as strong male otters?
I don't know. We could find out, but not yet, because we're going to learn a little bit about Strawberry Short Kook.
Yes, thank you.
Strawberry Short Kook is an otter-winning actor turned movie mogul.
Okay, so in the world of Otter Pops, the Academy Awards give out otters.
That's right.
Got it.
Now she makes her own movies and calls the shots at her own major movie studio, Otter National Pictures. Kook specializes in working with strong female writers and directors,
there it is again,
giving them a spotlight to shine. As a child, Kook dreamed of being an actress, but her road to success wasn't an easy one. While in school, she felt left out and had low self-esteem because she was so short. But she never lost sight of her dream, and after years of waiting tables, she got her big break. And the rest, as Alexander the Grape says, is history. That's another otter. When Kook isn't in the boardroom making multi-picture deals or on the red carpet making star-studded appearances, she supports Lil's, another otter, animal rescue work, enjoys yoga classes, and loves having everyone over for dinner. Again, another otter that's having it all. Yep, but she doesn't like to cook.
Oh, sure.
She lets Louis Blue do that, another otter.
Right.
He loves to cook, and he's the best chef around.
Okay, should we follow that to Alexander the Grape or to Louis the Blue?
Let's do Alexander the Grape, because he's wearing a toga.
Okay.
Alexander the Grape is a whimsical otter. O-D-D-E-R.
Oh, I see.
Yes,
he
it's
is
a pun.
otter. Okay, yes.
And wannabe time traveler who is absolutely fascinated and overjoyed by the origin of everything. From the history of ketchup, they spell that K-E-T-S-U-P.
Ketchup.
To the origin of the high five, this toga-clad history buff knows it all and shares it all with wide-eyed enthusiasm. Do you want to see if he's a strong male otter?
I think you have to continue,
Okay,
yes.
a lovable eccentric. He wears a toga because it's comfy, and he wears a laurel wreath on his head because he wanted it in a trivia game where he knew that fireworks began as a cooking accident in ancient China. Wacky and wonderful. I need a source on that. Wacky and wonderful. Alexander is an amazing storyteller whom the other otters love to bits, especially Lil, DJ, and Cosmic. Okay, this is like, we need to draw out all the connections.
Right, because there are a lot of connections here. This is mind-boggling to me. Although I will say, kind of a bummer, his gender not mentioned at all.
Well, okay, I think it's funny that especially Lil, DJ, and Cosmic are the other otters love to bits. Okay, they're the ones who love him. So Strawberry Short Kook just hires him, doesn't love him.
Sure, right. Yeah, that makes sense. So here's what I'm suspecting right now.
Oh, no, that was Louis Blue that she hired.
as her chef.
Yeah,
Right.
Alexander the Great must just be like associated with her as an actor.
Yeah,
How
he
was he
said
how was he
said
mentioned?
well, I mean, he's interested in the
Oh yes,
history of film.
as history.
Uh,
Yes.
he's knows all of the Otter award winners and
Yeah.
nominees. Here's my guess. My guess is that these biographies or the characters were originally conceived before were conceived many decades ago.
Yes. Yeah. I
Right?
think that's right.
And then they had to like retrofit some of the like more retrograde like stereotypes for the female characters, and we're like, no, Strawberry Shortcake is not a floozy, she is an empowered strong woman.
I think that's absolutely right. And I think the newer characters, if I were to guess, like Major Mango and Cosmic Coconut,
Yeah,
are were created for that purpose.
sure. Yes.
Yes. I think that's probably right.
All right, we were accompanied today by pianist Cole Wright. Mark, let's get into the news.
Just want you to know there's a character called Little Orphan Orange. So
That's pretty good too.
yep.
Sounds a little bit like Agent Orange, but I mean, what are you gonna do?
Mario Kart Tour, the mobile Mario Kart game, will be shutting down completely this fall. Nintendo announced that as of September 29th at 11 p.m. Pacific time, the mobile Mario Kart comes down forever.
Right. There will be no offline version, or at the very least, there are no plans for it right now.
Right, and I find it hard to believe that in the future they'll be like, we thought about it.
We thought about it, now we like it.
Yes.
The thing is, they did offer an offline version for Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, which they called like the complete. I forget exactly.
Yeah,
what
I
it's
can't
called.
remember either.
I bought it. I
Yeah, me
spent
too.
the $5, and I don't think I've ever, Mark, turned it on.
I don't think so either, but they got me because they were like, well, it's gonna be $20 or whatever.
Right? Yeah.
But for now, you can get it like 10. Complete. That's what they call it.
Yeah,
Pocket
okay, great.
Camp Complete. But yeah, no plans to do anything like that for Mario Kart Tour. And I guess, if you're not supporting it, there would be no multiplayer. So people, I guess, presumably could play against like bots. It's just interesting to me that because people paid money in Mario Kart Tour for like season passes and other currency that I'm sure they bought like costumes or carts or whatever with. So it is interesting that they chose to do it for Pocket Camp and are choosing to not do it for Mario Kart Tour.
I mean, sort of unfortunately, this is just like the economics of mobile games.
Yeah,
though,
that's
right?
true.
That like people spend money on them all the time into things that they will literally not have access to, or like cosmetic features that are just going to go away when the whole thing shuts down. And there's sort of no way around that. Like that's just how that model works, because people don't want to spend the $10 to buy Super Mario Run, but they will over time spend $30 on costumes for a game that'll shut down.
Just a little history on Mario Kart Tour. It first launched in 2019, and the last content update was in 2023. Plus they did do a Mario Kart World event last year that was just like carts or a few new carts and a few new like costumes for existing characters. But I mean, I feel like Tour will, if nothing else, should be forever remembered as the like genesis of a lot of the booster course pass tracks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, like the city court,
all the city courses,
all the city courses,
and like a handful of other ones besides, right? And sort of beyond that, the thing that is obviously we're talking about a lot last week and this week, the alternate costumes, like that was how that game had its like alternate characters, was like just put these guys in more costumes. I don't know that we would have that feature of Mario Kart World without Tour doing it first. So I do think that there's a lot of, as you say, the tracks live on in the Booster Course Pass in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and a lot of the costumes sort of live on through Mario Kart World. A lot of other costumes are just like disappearing, right? And character variants. But yeah, a lot of it remains in these other Mario Kart games.
So we knew that Nintendo would be introducing new versions of the Switch 2 and the Switch 2 accessories in Europe to comply with the EU law mandating that all electronics have removable/replaceable batteries starting in February of 2027. And so Nintendo released some information about like confirming their plans there. But as part of that, they also confirmed that they will stop selling all versions of the original Switch in Europe at that same time.
Which, like, kind of a big deal, right? Like, they're not stopping distribution of any of the models of Switch anywhere outside of Europe, but it just like doesn't make sense for them to like go back and redesign again the original Switch with a removable battery.
Right. Especially when obviously like the Switch 2 is what they are trying to get into consumers' hands.
Totally, yeah.
And the cost differential between a Switch and especially a Switch OLED and like a Switch 2 nowadays.
Right, pretty small.
Especially before the price increase on
Right.
the Switch 2 in September is pretty small.
Although, has the price already increased in Europe?
No, just in Japan.
Oh, just in
Everywhere
Japan.
else
Got
is
it.
September 1st, is my understanding. Yeah, and by mid-February next year, that's just a few weeks shy of a full decade of the Switch.
Yeah, and that's a good long life for any console. Just to be clear, this does apply to all versions of Switch 1. So Switch, Switch OLED, and Switch Lite.
And you mentioned it, but Nintendo plans to continue to sell the Switch 1 outside of Europe. And there are those rumors that they plan to launch in India in 2027. I don't know, if that turned out to be anything or not. But also, as part of the replaceable battery rollout, Nintendo will stop selling some of the accessories for the Switch, like the NES controller for Nintendo Switch. They won't sell that anymore. The Nintendo Switch Pro controller, they'll no longer sell. The Sega Mega Drive / like Genesis control pad for the Switch, they won't sell that anymore. And the Super Nintendo controllers for the Switch, they won't sell that anymore either.
So does that mean that they are planning to sell a version of like the Nintendo 64 controller with a removable battery?
Yes. And the GameCube controller.
Okay, well, so then follow-up question. Do the Joy-Cons have separate removable batteries?
The Joy-Con 2 will also have new versions with removable batteries, yes.
So you'll be able... So when you are walking around with your... And I guess we all do this all the time anyway, but that you're walking around with your Switch 2 and it's got 3 batteries in it. That will also be true of this new version. There'll just be 3 removable batteries.
Yes, that's right.
That's interesting.
Also, kind of like I think academically interesting thing is that for all the devices that they will be selling with replaceable batteries, there is some small change to battery capacity. So mostly the capacity got slightly smaller. I think on the Switch 2 model, it's like 1% smaller than previously. But interestingly, the GameCube controller goes up by 5%. It gets a 5% larger capacity. Also, all of it has like a few grams of added weight.
Yeah, I mean, you would think so, that there would have to be like the mechanism to replace these things and, like a little hinge or something. Do we need to know more about batteries than we do?
Oh, I'm not sure I'm ready for that.
Okay, all right.
Pokemon Days, February 27th.
Right.
Shinya Takahashi, Beaumont Kin.
Yeah, that's
some
it.
battery stuff.
You can only know 3 things. Also, Indiana Jones Adventure in the Temple of the Forbidden Eye.
Yes. Is that right? Indiana Jones Adventure.
Oh, and then is it just : Temple of the Forbidden Eye?
Do you know what? I'm going to Wikipedia.
Because Indiana Jones, normally is an and the series,
so
right?
It's probably and the. But I just really want to confirm the Disneyland website. Disneyland.go.com.
Yeah.
Does not. Okay,
Tell you what, I'm going to pull up the Disneyland app.
Yeah, there we go.
We'll see.
Oh, here we go. Right,
yeah.
Indiana Jones Adventure, Temple of the Forbidden Eye. So it does match the Indiana Jones convention. Right?
No,
it does not.
It does
not.
that
one's and the.
Right.
Yes, no, this is just
Indiana Jones Adventure, :
Temple of the Forbidden
Eye.
Okay, so now we know 4 things.
Okay. Don't ask us about batteries.
Don't ask us about batteries. We can only know so much. Do you want to know the name of the version in Tokyo Disneyland?
Absolutely.
Tokyo Disney Sea?
Yeah.
Indiana Jones Adventure, Temple of the Crystal Skull.
Interesting.
There's no Mara there.
And it's the Temple of the Crystal Skull?
It is. It is a Temple of the Crystal Skull.
And that's different than the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
It is, yeah, and it came first. That one was that opened in 2001.
Wow.
Yes. We're learning too many things. A new report from ZDNet Korea claims that Nintendo is considering, they're like investigating an OLED model of the Switch 2. The outlet claims to have spoken with multiple insider sources, but obviously nothing is official. I think the report, as I understood it, is basically that Nintendo is talking to Samsung about like, OLED. I think it's called like a flexible OLED or something like that.
Yes.
Screen. But that they haven't made any decision because obviously the cost of the thing and thus like the cost of the consumer is a big consideration on everything right now on
Right.
whether this would go forward or not.
Well, and yeah, whether there would be a market for, because you have to imagine that a lot of people buying the Switch OLED were people who already owned a
For sure.
vanilla Switch and were upgrading. And now that we're in a place where kind of just like everything costs more, especially electronics, will they be able to get as many double dippers as they did last time?
Right. Especially if, because like the upgrade from the Switch to the OLED, once especially I had the OLED in my hands,
know.
like I was a late adopter, but once I had it in my hands, I was like, whoa, like this is significantly better. Not just the screen, the whole like build.
Yes.
And the Switch 2
Those
was
white
already...
Joy-Cons.
Ooh, yes, and like less creaky and
yeah,
like...
it was all around a better system.
But the Switch 2 is already nice, and I'm sure they could make it a lot nicer, but it's already nicer than like the OLED ever was.
Right.
And the LCD screen on there, I know that people have like their complaints with it, but it's like 1080p.
Yeah, it's already pretty bright and sharp, and like does or approximates a lot of the things that the OLED screen was doing.
But after my experience with the OLED and buying it and being very happy for that upgrade, I would certainly consider it, depending on what else was like part of it and what the final price ended up being. But
and also when it happens, right?
Yeah.
Like if they were to announce this tomorrow, to go on sale in August, you might be like, well, hold on, I just bought this thing.
Right. So according to the article again, development would reportedly be possible by the end of the year with mass production of OLED units starting late 2027, early 2028, and then presumably like the consumer release even later than that. So let's just imagine at this point, we're just making stuff up. A late 2028 launch would put it about 3.5 years after the Switch 2 released, which is shorter than the 4.5 years that it took for the Switch OLED to be released in October 2021. But
Right,
you have to wonder if COVID played into that. Like, would it have been released earlier
Sure.
if COVID hadn't happened?
But I mean, the other thing to remember is that the Switch Lite was in there too, right?
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
in the interim,
in 2019.
Yeah. So like it might almost make more sense for there to be a Switch 2 Lite, announced later this year or something like that.
Right. And I think a lot of people, especially with, honestly, maybe the Switch Lite, I can't remember at this point, may have been tied to, or not tied to, but released around the time of Sword and Shield, the first Pokemon game. Certainly the Nintendo 2DS was timed to the release of Sun and Moon. And so with Wind and Waves sometime next year, if they are somehow able to make a Switch 2 Lite, given the cost of memory and other components right now, it certainly would make sense to do it around the time of Winds and Waves. But
it kind of just doesn't feel like there's much of a place to like take a bite out of the price, though, right? Even by making the Joy-Cons not like separatable, like I think a Switch 2 Lite is still going to be a pretty expensive machine.
Right. But if you can make it $50 cheaper, $75 cheaper, does that make it worth it?
If you can make it $50 cheaper than it is right now, right? Remember, the Switch 2 is going up $50.
Right. So it'd be like 100. So it'd be 300 versus $400
versus $500.
Yeah.
Which is still $400.
Right. But that's cheaper than $500.
I absolutely agree. It is still the Switch Lite launching at $200. I don't think we respected that enough.
Oh, totally. No, we took so much for granted back then.
Yes.
The OLED,
a killer price point.
The OLED was $50 more.
I know.
It was $350 versus $300.
None of these things cost those numbers anymore.
Right. Yeah. But you're right. I think and I don't think that this report being specifically about like OLED screens,
Yeah, you're right.
would mean that they're not developing a light as well,
Right.
because it would certainly make sense for them to try. But we haven't really had any rumors about that.
I mean,
But,
you gotta sell Pokemon to kids, right?
Yeah.
You absolutely have to.
after the most recent Nintendo Direct, I guess and the announcement that Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to release on Switch 2, day and date with everything else. Even though we don't know when that is. I guess Kingdom Hearts news counts as Nintendo news now.
I think it has to.
So there will be a special deep dive into Kingdom Hearts. That's what it's being called at this year's Disney company fan convention called D23.
Yes.
Starts Saturday. It'll be held Saturday, August 15th at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. We don't know if this is going to be streamed or not. It seems like it might just be an in-person event.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like just like a panel or something.
Yes, the description is: join us for a journey through light and darkness as we commemorate 25 years of Kingdom Hearts. Discover how this saga united Disney, Pixar, and Square Enix with insights from the creative minds, character voices, and more behind the magic. So yeah, not necessarily. I don't know that we should necessarily expect any announcements or anything out of it.
But always possible that
Yeah.
like something like this produces news that we get like snippets of here and there. I do, just because you and I are not Kingdom Hearts people, I do think is something that we need to like be paying a little bit of attention to. Just as like I think Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to be a big deal when it hits, and it'll be a big deal on Switch too. Are those the like the native to Switch 2, like the non-cloud versions? Are those available now, or are they forthcoming?
I think that they are.
I think they're forthcoming.
Yeah, I think they're forthcoming.
Okay. Is that ever anything that we could collectively get interested in?
I think so. I mean, hey, with Xenoblade Chronicles being conquered, I think anything is possible.
Yeah, I mean, what a great point. October. Okay, great.
Is when the collection comes out. Let's see. GameStop had a sale that started on Sunday and marked down the price of the Switch 2 camera to only $11. It was $10.99, down from usually it's $55.
Yeah, crazy stuff. So, if you try to go to GameStop now, it says like not available. But you can still buy the like used version of the camera for $25, a few dollars cheaper if you're a GameStop.
That's a
program.
real fire sale. I wonder if they just had too many.
Yeah, well, and like I went looking around to see if like other retailers were approximating that cost, and Amazon is selling it for $29.99. And as for like a new one, so that's like 45-ish% off. Everyone else is holding steady at the $50 or $55. But yeah, it really does make me wonder if like the camera just like was not selling the way that Nintendo or any of their partners expected or hoped it would, or if people were just like, no, I've got a USB-C camera. Like, why would I need to buy Nintendo's specific one? Or what the deal is.
Right. Yeah.
Or if they're just trying to like clear house because like a new model of it is going to come out. I don't know.
Well, while we're talking about the camera, I maybe should have brought this up earlier. I guess Tetris 99 being Star Fox related.
Oh yeah.
I would love to hear if any of our listeners have had any experience with like the Star Fox.
Is anyone using those avatars?
Yeah, like what is that like? Is it fun? Like I haven't tried that. I haven't like booted that up at all, and I'd just be curious to hear people's experiences with that.
Yeah, it's just so interesting because it's like, I have to engage like a different gear in my brain and like my like willingness to be social. So I'm just like I'm changing my brain chemistry a little bit if I want to do an online session of Star Fox. With friends, whatever. But then also to be like, okay, now I'm going to get out the camera. So now I'm doing like, I'm changing the layout of the room and like the equipment that's plugged in and putting myself on camera to do game chat. Yes, I'm with like a Star Fox avatar. It's just such a different activity from like play Star Fox that two things feel almost completely unrelated. And I just don't know that I'm ever going to do that.
Yeah, I didn't mess with the multiplayer at all, even.
Yeah.
So, I would just be curious to hear people's experiences.
Yep.
Because that was such a kind of like fun, surprising, cool feature of that game. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book has a free demo on the Nintendo eShop now, which allows players to start the first chapter of the game, and then if you buy the full version, your progress will carry over.
Yeah, so just interesting that Nintendo doesn't really do this that much. First of all, to put out demos of their games, but also to put out a demo for the game a couple weeks after it launched. It makes me wonder how Yoshi and the Mysterious Book is doing. I'd guess not great, but if you're interested and want to know if this one will, feel like the rest of them, you can check out the demo.
Nintendo has announced that they will be at San Diego Comic-Con later this month. The marquee offering is Nintendo Switch Sports Resort, and apparently there's an opportunity to play on stage against the Rizzler.
Sure. I mean, I don't know. This is this is how Nintendo is positioning themselves for San Diego Comic-Con. Not a place that Nintendo, I think, has to really show up for, right?
No, I don't know that they have in the past.
I've seen them there in the past, but it's never like you're not playing a game that hasn't come out yet.
Sure,
it's like...
Although that'll be the case here.
That will be the case here, yes.
Splatoon Raiders will also be there, but of course that game will have been out for a few weeks by the time that happens. Finally, The Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales, has been updated to version 1.1.0. This is another game that I feel like I haven't heard much discussion about, and I would just be curious to know people's experiences with it if they've picked it up. But the game, they've released an update for the game on Steam, at least from the point at the point that we're recording this. But the update allows you to fully turn off the support character's voice.
Right. Previously, they had added like a thing to change the frequency with which the support character is chiming in your ear. But now you can just straight up turn it off. So there was evidently enough whinging from the gaming public and us. I complained about this after playing the demo, that they're like, oh, okay, fine, just turn her off. You don't have to listen to the character at all.
But like I said, it's been released on Steam, and they promise it'll be released on other platforms as soon as possible. You mentioned that you were curious. Did you try the demo at all? No, I didn't. I haven't messed with this game in the slightest. I'm more curious, like, academically about people's experiences versus trying to figure out whether I want to play it based on what other. Do you know what I mean? Like, you are basically not going to play it. I think so. Where are you? Just like generally speaking, let's use just a quick inventory of like the HD 2D games. And sure. That you've Octopath Traveler, right? Played for a little while, but no one could beat the whole thing. Right. Yes. I mean, there is a listener who did. We don't know that for sure. Can't be done. And I enjoyed my time with Octopath Traveler, but didn't feel enough like momentum to keep going. And then the only other one that I played that I did play all the way through was Live Alive. Yeah. And otherwise, I didn't pick up Triangle Strategy. I haven't picked up Dragon Quest. Oh, yes, I did. Yeah, no, you're right. You played a fair amount of 3, right? Yes. Yeah. I didn't pick up 1 and 2, but I did pick up the HD 2D remake of 3. Yes, I absolutely did. I didn't come to mind because I think of these as like, what is the name of the developer? Like Asano or whatever? Like the person who Bravely Default studio, yeah. But that was like Dragon Quest 3 remake was done outside of that, but anyways, yes, I did also play some of that one. Very good. How about you? I mean, it's similar to you. I played a little bit of Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D. Played all the way through Live Alive. Loved Live Alive. I think I got deeper into Octopath Traveler than you did. And then I had also purchased Triangle Strategy when it came out, and could not get through it because it is so chatty. They never stop talking. And I've always intended to go back to Octo 2 and Octo 0, but just didn't. So, how much do I actually intend to do that? And I enjoyed the Elliot demo, but I'm playing Xenoblade right now. So that's me playing a game that originally came out 15 years ago. So talk to me in 15 years, maybe I'll be playing The Adventures of Elliot. All right, Mark, let's get out of the news.
Okay, that is going to do it for this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. If you're not in our Discord, you should be. Email us. We'll send you an invitation to get in there. Anthony DeLuca made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8-Bit Betty. You can get more of his music by going to 8bitbetty.com or by listening right now. For my co-host, Mark Mitchell, this is Patrick Eller saying thank you for listening.